Hi there crafty pals, Louise here. Thanks so much for checking out this video. I was recently inspired by a YouTube that I watched, and I do apologize to the crafter, I've forgotten who it was, but the particular crafter that I was watching made a fabulous hidden journal pocket and tucked a few little bits and pieces in behind their elements. So today I'm combining this with a little bit of a challenge to myself to use up some of my alphas. Now alphas are a great little product that I bet we all have somewhere in our stash. I like to pick up the thickers version from Spotlight or online, wherever I happen to be shopping at the time, and I tend to use them maybe once or twice, and then the amount of letters gets more complicated because I don't like it when I run out of letters. And I have to admit I'm a little bit frustrated that we've got I think there are 4 V's. Yeah, so there's 4 V's in this particular selection of alphas, but there's only like 6 E's, and same with A's, and there's like a heap of W's and X's and Y's and Z's, and it's like, yeah, great, but I only really need 1 or 2 of those in a packet of alphas. So stay tuned at the end of this video because I'm going to show you a little tip on how to stash bust your alphas. But in the meantime, I picked out this journaling spot because the journaling was going to form a major part of this prompt. Now, this is a picture of me with our local Speedway ambassador, and I got to have my photo taken at a Speedway event that we went along to, and no one else wanted their photo taken, as you would have noticed. I also had my photo taken with the Easter Bunny, and I'm not afraid to get my photo taken, so I like to snap these opportunities when the time arrives. And so the journaling forms an important part of this layout in explaining sort of what was going on, and that's why I chose a journaling spot initially. I also knew that I was going to tuck it in behind my layers so I could make it as big as I please, but I also wanted to make sure that my pieces that I was working with were going to match in as well. And so the journaling spot had that sort of pink, very light aqua, and what I would call a sort of a mustard kind of color tone to it. And that's what inspired me to choose my matching papers. So honestly, if you had asked me to pick this particular patterned paper color, so a mixture of pinks, aqua, and mustard, I'd have gone, are you crazy? That's a terrible color combination. But because it was already on the journaling spot, that's what inspired me to create that. And so from my 100 pattern paper stash, I've pulled this aqua coloured pattern paper and that mustard and pink with just a touch of those little navy florals in there as well. So it actually works in better than I expected. I honestly, like I said, I would never have kind of gone for this color combination, but it is a bit cute, and I think it's turned out into a really sort of neat layout. I also didn't want to start with a white background. White is kind of my go-to color, and so I am, again, challenging the comfort zone, trying to get out of it, trying to make new and interesting things, and again, always inspiring you to use different items from stash and get creative in different ways. So this really just is one of those layouts that evolved, and I'd pulled out the sticker sheets in order to get what I thought I wanted was one of those little tags, but I found the sort of the brown strip of scalloped edge in a sticker, and I really felt like that worked out quite well in that background, in that hidden journaling element. So it gives you something to kind of grab hold of and really gives you, it adds an interesting sort of type of embellishment. So because I had the sticker sheets out, that's how this then evolved. You know, I hadn't planned on having this area of interest and strip down that right hand side, but I already had these sticker sheets out, and guess what was on the sticker sheet? It was a strip of wood grain, which I thought would match in beautifully, and I'm just rolling with it. So not stressing too much, just letting the creativity flow, and like I said earlier, this is purely just about the hidden journaling aspect initially, and everything that grows from there can just happen and evolve naturally as I progress. So as I've got this sticker sheet out, I'm also finding that the colors work in really well. So there's a few of those little teal elements. There's some browns, which I've now got in the wood grain, and that extra little tab that's going to go out from my hidden journaling. So really just not overthinking it, just allowing the layout to grow quite organically. And I did consider mixed media. A lot of you that have been watching my channel for a while now might say, oh, she didn't add any elements into her background, which is very unlike me. But again, the layout just grew, and sometimes, you know, you want to add mixed media, and sometimes you want to just keep it quite simple and straightforward with papers and different elements. So alpha stash busting, I'm actually going to pull my ruler out to line up my alpha letters. I don't do that very often. I normally just wing it and let them sit wherever they may. But yeah, I am trying to get better at keeping things aligned. So it's not a favorite habit of mine, but I'm trying. And so yeah, a super simple title with the alpha words, just going to make it Speedway and 26, because obviously that's the year that this was taken. So Speedway 26, sitting just below my photo. And I really do like these alphas that have well they blend in. You know, they've got a few little pops of colour, but they suit this layout because they've got that real white sort of vibrant element against the colours in the background. Now I had to trim this up a little bit because that wooden banner over the right hand side didn't go all the way. And then off camera, while I was thinking a little bit more about how I was going to get creative with this page, I did some faux stitching around the outside, so you can see some little hand stitch elements. And then again, I was sort of going back to that, not mixed media as such, but how do I just enhance this background? Could I pop some splatter on there? Was it inks? Was it stencils? What did I actually need to add just to take this layout to the next level? Because that's all it really is when I'm creating, is not so much about making the perfect page, but just embellishing it enough so that I feel like it's finished. And something that I haven't gotten out for some time is my stash of rub-ons. Now, when they made a comeback, I pretty much, as you can see by the pile I've got going on here, I pretty much bought them all and probably haven't used a great deal of them. Some of them I find really easy to use, like these sort of ones that have got a little bit of text in their background, but they've also got some splatter. I feel like they're just a great way to add and enhance a background without you really having to get messy for yourself, and that works for me. So I'm just going to add a few little rub-on pieces here once I sort of sort through and decide which ones I'm going to actually use. And this was kind of traumatic for me here, because this one had these little fun, what looked like real sequins, and I'm like, I'm not going to cut all these out individually. So I just folded back that backing sheet, and normally in the past what's happened is I've ended up with bits of that rub on the background that I actually don't want to be on the background. So that can be quite a challenge for me, but I was lucky this time, and the sequins work in beautifully even though they don't add any texture. So I think this is kind of cool because the sequins add texture, but they're not super bulky. It's definitely still quite a flat layout. And then I've got that little butterfly down in my right hand cluster as well. So that was a fun little share, and I really enjoyed putting this together. Thank you to the crafter. I will try and look it up and link it in the description box, but at the time of this voiceover I cannot remember who that was, but thank you for the inspiration in terms of creating that hidden journaling aspect. So here's my final little tip to use up your alphas. Turn them into words off the sheet. So this is all I have left, and I've got a bunch of words already pre-planned out. I'll go through and find some photos to match and turn those into layouts. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and as always, happy scrapping.